Y'all come on in. Let me give you a little story time. I'm going to tell you this. Getting old and having an aging parent is something else. Let's talk about yesterday, which was June the 3rd. I go to check to see where my daddy's Social Security check is. And this is the first month that we had these issues. So, for y'all who know, my dad had to have amputations done. We've been dealing with a lot of stuff for the last year. So, last month was the first month that he had to actually leave the facility that he was at because I felt like they weren't doing a good job. By the time we get to the hospital, his blood sugar is at 600, and he had to get 4 more toes cut off. I'm like, my daddy started here missing 1 toe on the right side. Now he got half a leg and working on the other side being cut off. So I'm like, So anyways, he's at another facility where he's rehab to home. We've been keeping up an apartment for a year. So I'm looking for a Social Security check so I can get, pay his bills and stuff. Turns out the nursing home facility has taken over his check. But he's no longer there. He was only there when he moved the 11th of the month because that's when he went into the hospital. So I'm like, hey, somebody need to call the ambulance. They was like, no, he's all right. I said, no, somebody need to call the ambulance. They said, per daughter request, they're sending him to the hospital. And he had all these issues going on. Anyways, so I had to have my mom come over to my daycare and then her to kind of take over the daycare so I can go and get my daddy from the nursing home facility he's at and wheelchair him to the other facility so he can go pick up his check. All to get there to see the check is written out to the nursing home facility in care of him. You know what it's like pushing a person in the sun about a mile away. And this is where I really note how it could be, if I had to be a handicapped person, when you're walking, you don't think too much about things. But when you're in a wheelchair and I'm pushing him, the unlevel ground, trying to get from one side of the street to the other side of the street, honey, I was having a time. So we get the check, we go over to the bank, because it's all in the same plaza. I don't live far from where either one of these nursing homes. So we get to the bank and they told us, no, you have to either have the nursing home facility just cash it and give it back to you, or either, contact the Social Security office. I chose to contact the Social Security office, so that way we won't have a problem next month. Well, we can't get an appointment until the 25th of this month. Thank God I've been handling his money properly, so he do have money to pay his rent. And so I'm like, okay. So I decided we go over to Kroger and get my dad something to drink and a cigarette lighter. So we start out. So I got him a Dr. Pepper, no sugar, 0 sugar, and I'm pushing him. He drops his pop. I bend down to get it because he hadn't opened it yet. So I bend down to get it, and I noticed there was a car on the side of me. I'm like, okay, they can just go around. Well, it was one of my daycare parents. And you know what? When they said the Lord has a ram in the bush, because I'm hot, I'm tired, and I've been pushing his not stroller, but the wheelchair. And she's like, Miss Angela, where are you going? I said, well, I'm about to take him back to the nursing home. She's like, where is your car? I said, at that nursing home. She said, you about to walk that far? I was like, yeah. She works in the nursing field. Honey, when I tell you that girl got out of her car, picked my daddy up, because she knew him from the other facility. She picked my daddy up, put him in her car, put the wheelchair together. You talking about I was in tears. I'm like, cause when you just feel overwhelmed with everything that's going on, I'm like, thank you. That was my ram in the bush. And I would like to say, thank you, Taylor. we get to the nursing home, because I'm already trying to make it back because I got the Social Security people on the line, and he said it'd be a 20-minute hold. I'm like, I don't got that much juice on my phone. I better get back to my car. So when I get back to the car, because I wanted to make sure my dad was there so they could hear him. And usually when there's anything going on, they call my phone anyway, Social Security administrators, because he'd been frauded before. So I was able to make the appointment, and it was for, the 25th. I'm like, God, well, thank God I did manage his money correctly, because he does have money that he can get to. And I'm just saying, you never know what life's going to throw at you. And it threw a doozy on me on the 3rd. But I'm still here. So, for all of us who's Gen Xers, who are taking care of baby boomers, your parents, sometimes it could be rough, but yesterday it was rough. I got to work out. So look, I was already trying to get skintier this summer to get some of this fat off. But, that was my day, my story time. Y'all tell me about how it is with you and your aging parents. Comment below.